All right, thank you, Jacqueline. Good morning, everyone, or good evening, depending on where you are. And thank you for joining us today. My name is Mohammed Abdelhamid. I'm the Program Director and Faculty in the Information Systems Department. And today I'll talk to you about the program. So we'll go through the following agenda. So first, we're going to talk about trends in the industry. We're going to talk about the job market. Then why do a degree here at CSULB, and then I'll give some highlights about our MSIS program. Then finally, I'll hand it over to Jacqueline to go over the application process, and then we'll have time for Q&A. All right, so since you're here, that means you do have an interest in pursuing a degree in IS or in technology in general. And you're in the right track because technology has been leading the board in the past decade or so. So, for example, if you look at the top right graph over there, you will see that this is the top company by market cap. This is coming from PwC report. And you'll see that Apple has been leading the board since 2012. So last 10 years or so. Now, if you look at prior to that, so 2011, and then you go back 10 years, 20 years, it was a different story. It was oil and gas for the most part that was leading the board. So companies like ExxonMobil, PetroChina, Shell, those were the top companies in terms of profit, market cap, etc. And the same idea, you'll see it on the left side graph again, last 5-10 years. It's mainly tech giants, Apple, Alphabet or Google, Microsoft, Facebook or Meta, Amazon. And then prior to that, 2011 and prior, it's again oil and gas companies. So all in all, now is the tech era, meaning technology is the new oil and gas and is the best industry to be at. All right, so even during pandemic, where many industries and many businesses suffered, you will see that technology actually outperformed expectations. So that's in row 6. And if you compare that to mainstream industries like energy, which we just talked about in row 7, or financial services in row 9, they both underperformed. And many other industries did suffer. So consumer in general, healthcare, etc., telecommunication. And this has been the trend. So digital transformation, industries becoming tech industries, etc. All right, so the trend has been disruptive technologies in the past, as I mentioned, a decade or a little bit more. And that means many industries that were traditionally non-tech industries have been disrupted to become tech industries. So the classical example is Uber. And then you could think of other like Amazon and how they disrupted, retail. You could think of Netflix and all the streaming networks and how they disrupted entertainment. So the idea is that, for example, transportation was not a technology industry traditionally, and technology allowed it to be tech industry, and Uber is the classical example. So there's a famous quote of the CEO of Uber who says, if you do not disrupt yourself, someone else will. And that is also ironic because Uber will need to redisrupt themselves because of what Tesla is working on. So we can go to the next slide. So Tesla is working on a new mobile app. They call it Robotaxi. A Robotaxi is basically Tesla's version of Uber, but it doesn't need a driver. So using the full self-driving capability. And so if you have a Tesla, you can subscribe, and you have the FSD, you can subscribe to the robotaxi, and then have the car work for you while you are at home or at work or at the gym, etc. So disruption will continue to happen even to existing tech companies and tech giants, because many technologies are maturing and new emerging technologies are coming up, like, for example, robotics, drones, AI, generative AI, blockchain, etc. All of them keep evolving. Virtual reality, augmented reality. So the trend will keep continuing, and existing tech companies will need to also be redisrupted, otherwise they will be out of business. All right, so and again, as I mentioned, this is happening now and will continue to happen. We've seen it in industries that transition to become tech industries, like newspaper, TV, hospitality, food, insurance, etc. So this is good news for us because it allows us to, you can move to the next slide. It allows us to have career opportunities in any industries, because all industries are becoming tech industries, and almost every company is becoming a tech company. There is no longer, tech versus non-tech separation. All companies need technology to operate. They need data. They need security. They need a lot of things. So with that, we have opportunities for our graduates to work as data analysts, cybersecurity analysts, business analysts. These are some of the areas we prepare our students for. And as we mentioned, you have more industries and opportunities nowadays. All right, so if you look at the top jobs, this is coming from Glassdoor, for example, end of 2022. You'll see that in 2022, a full year, top jobs have been mainly tech related. This is top jobs in general, not only in tech. And it's calculated based on salary, median salary, job satisfaction, and how many openings, how many opportunities are there. And you'll see that the majority of the top jobs are basically tech related. All right, so now we're convinced of the industry, the job market. Why do a degree here at CSULB? There are many reasons. First, we are strategically located in LA County, bordering Orange County, and that is a strategic location in the entire US. There are many companies that have their major offices or second, third major offices in this area. And also there are so many companies in the area, and with that comes a lot of opportunities like networking, career fairs, competitions, conferences, etc. So opportunities that you can walk into and drive to. Now compare that to a campus, for example, in a campus town in the middle of nowhere. You're only restricted to what the campus can offer because there is nothing around it. We also have faculty with teaching passion. A lot of them worked in big companies in the industry, and with that comes the industry experience and the connection. Yeah, next set of reasons related to the program structure. So we're dedicated to student success, and that means we continuously revamp the curriculum. We have revamped it entirely in the past couple of years to include relevant skills and tools related to data analytics, cybersecurity, and cloud computing. And we made sure it's also consistent across all courses. So Python, for example, is adopted in all analytical related courses like machine learning, deep learning, cybersecurity analytics, etc. So, and then AWS is adopted in all cloud computing related curriculum. So For example, the MIS course and the database management course, in the cybersecurity course, they all utilize AWS. And then also the classes are offered in the evening during the day, in the evening during the week. So that means Monday through Friday, if we offer classes during the week, is going to be in the evening, so 7 usually to 9:45. And occasionally, some semesters may have classes on Saturdays. And Saturdays are usually morning or afternoon. So this allows people to work a full-time job or a part-time job and also do the school full-time. In addition, we have a STEM designated program. So for international students, you get an extension for up to 3 years under the OPT visa. Yeah, and then we have Graduate Business Career Services. This is a department or a division just for graduate business students, so just for you guys. And they help with a lot related to career. So resume writing, they do mock interviews, they have some internship opportunities, they have some networking opportunities, they do career fairs. They also have a mentor program where they align you with a mentor from the industry. And usually a mentor will have 1 or 2 students only. And the mentor is from the area you want to pursue. For example, if you want to be in analytics, they will find you someone from the analytics industry, and that become your mentor. So this is a great opportunity as well to take advantage of. All right, next, we are also ranked and accredited by many ranking systems. For example, we are accredited by AACSB, which is the most elite accreditation any business school could have. There's only about 5% of business schools that are accredited by AACSB, and we are one of those. All right, and then, yeah, we've been consistently ranked high in social mobility. So, for example, in the new ranking by US News, we are ranked #1 in social mobility in the entire US. So this is including all universities across the United States. We are #1 in social mobility. All right, next. So this is a sample schedule you would follow if you join us. And this is the schedule that the current cohort is following. It could change because we, as I mentioned, we are continuously revamping the curriculum. So right now we have some major core courses, or courses that you have to take, like 610, 640, 602, 685, 680. These are major core courses everyone has to take. And then there are electives. So the electives, we have them under 2 areas right now, AI and then cybersecurity analytics. So if you want to pursue AI, you would take courses like machine learning, for example, deep learning, responsible AI, which is a newly course we created. And for example, again, this is a good example for us being pioneer in revamping curriculum, because if you're following news, you'll see that the President Biden signed an executive order on October 30th, specifically related to responsible AI. So that was October 30th, exactly 2 weeks ago. October 26th, before Biden signed the executive order, we actually approved this course from all levels across the university. We started working on responsible AI last year. So we were ahead compared to the entire country. And only after October 30th, we started seeing many schools talking about, revamping the curriculum to tackle the executive order. We were already there. And then the second track is cybersecurity for those who want to pursue cybersecurity. So basically, it's a 2-year cohort program. You take 10 courses in total, fall, spring, and there's no courses in summer. Yeah, and these are some examples of our networking events that we do. We have semesterly meetups, we have competitions we participate in, we have workshops. Tomorrow we have an Alteryx workshop. We have competitions that we participate in regionally and nationally. We have one of our students here who recently won a competition. Their team won about $12,000 for coming in first place. So he'll introduce himself later in the presentation. All right, so I think that's it for me. Now, Jacqueline is going to go over the application process.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Mohammed. All right, guys, so I hope you guys are willing to start your application now or complete your application. So I'm going to go ahead and go over the application process and what is required from you. To be eligible to apply to the program, you must have completed your bachelor's degree from a general accredited university. We do have 2 GPA requirements. The first GPA requirement is at the university level, and that is a 2.5 GPA. The College of Business does look for a 2.75. Meeting the minimum requirement of the 2.75 does not guarantee admissions. Again, this is just a component to the entire application as well. For our international students, if we have any of you guys here today with us, you are required to take the English language requirement, and it could be TOEFL, IELTS, Duolingo. There are additional test scores you can take. So this is a link here for you guys to check them out. But if you do TOEFL, you're looking at an 80 test score. If you're looking at IELTS, you're at a 6 on each subsection, and Duolingo is 115. Okay, so the application process, how do you get started? You create your profile through the Cal State Apply. A tip that I give everyone here is to use an email when you're creating your account. Use an email that you constantly check and that you have access to. All communications from the university and our department will go to that email. The application does have 4 components, which I'll go over in a minute. The application is a $70 fee. It is non-refundable, and a common question that we do get is if we have an application waiver, and the answer is no. The CSU system only gives those first-time freshmen and transfer students a waiver, but not for the graduate programs, unfortunately. So fall 2024, our deadlines are March 15 for international students, and June 1st for our domestic students. And again, you'll be submitting transcripts and test scores to the university as needed and as your application requires it. Okay, going into the application components a little bit, GRE and GMAT test scores are waived. You do not need to take the test. If you already took the test, you do not need to submit your test scores at all. We will not be looking at any GRE, GMAT test scores. We do need your resume, so go ahead and update your resume. We're going to need a video statement of purpose, a short answer statement, and 2 letters of recommendation. Okay, so once you start your Cal State Apply application, you're going to go ahead and select Fall 2024 and the graduate program, and that should pull in all the programs, and you'll be able to select MSIS. So again, the application does have 4 quadrants. When it's in progress and when it's completed, it will mark as green. So you will know the progress that you're making through the application. So for the first quadrant is really and truly just your personal information. We just need a little bit of your contact information. So you can go ahead and submit as much information as you want on this quadrant and as it's required. Quadrant 2 is your academic history. Here you can go ahead and just skip entering all your courses. You can later on gonna submit your unofficial transcripts. The GPA, you can go ahead and guess what your GPA if you're not unsure of which GPA you're looking at. The university eventually will confirm your GPA once all official documents are submitted. The standardized test, this is where you would submit originally the GRE or GMAT, but again, that is not required for our international students. However, you can go ahead and use the section here to submit your IELTS, your TOEFL, or your Duolingo test scores. Quadrant 3 is going to be all your supporting documents and information. Again, it's going to look for your experience, but you can go ahead and skip this section as well, since you will be uploading your resume. So you're going to be skipping a lot of things, but quadrant number 4 is the most important quadrant. You're going to have information about the program, questions, documents, and recommendation tabs. So going into each section, on the question section is where you're going to upload your video statement. So you're going to go ahead and take a minute to introduce yourself on your video statement, no more than 5 minutes in your overall video. Students typically do use YouTube. You could use Google Drive. Any format that does allow you to upload a video is great. Just make sure that your video is public. If your video is private, we're unable to see it, and the committee is unable to see it as well. So on your video statement, you're going to go ahead and again introduce yourself. Let us know a little bit of your education background, your career background. Go ahead and answer the following 3 questions. And one of them is, what is your career goals over the next 3 to 5 years? What is your long-term dream job? And what are you doing to prepare yourself to be part of the graduate program? Very easy questions. Again, go ahead and take a minute or so, introduce yourself, and then carry on with the rest of the questions. Again, no more than 5 minutes. The way you're going to upload this, you're going to copy paste the link to your video onto the question section, and that is how your video is going to be submitted. So the document section, this is where you're going to upload your resume, your short essay, and your unofficial transcripts. Your resume, you're going to go ahead and upload it under the Documents tab. There is a section for the unofficial transcripts. It does say it's optional, but we highly recommend it for everyone, especially our international students. You're able to submit all documents there. And for your essay, I'm going to go ahead and go into this section now. Again, it's going to be a short essay. We're not looking for a very long essay. It is meant to be 1 page maximum with a 12 font, double space, 1-inch margin. So please go ahead and follow those instructions there. And you're going to be go ahead and answering the following question. Describe a time when you experienced a challenge or obstacle. How did you overcome that challenge or obstacle? What would you do different if you could experience the challenge or obstacle over again? So it's a very simple question. It could be from your personal life, could be education, it could be from your career, but just go ahead and try to answer those questions in whatever scenario you have. And on this section under documents, you're also going to have additional questions. So go ahead and answer them as it is required and as it pertains to you. Okay, so for the recommendations section, you're going to need 2 recommenders. The way this works is you're going to go ahead and enter their full name and their email. Cal State Apply is going to go ahead and send a link to those recommenders so they can upload the letter on your behalf. So you do not upload the letter yourself. They get a link and they could submit it for you. So again, for your recommenders, we do have a couple questions we would like for them to answer on your behalf. And again, just give us a little bit of history of how they met you, where they were your instructors, professionals, how do they get to know you, and talk a little bit about your character. How did you contribute to their organization, their company, to classroom if they're your instructors? And again, we're just looking for a letter that has a strong endorsement for your candidacy to be part of the program. Okay, so once you submit your Cal State Apply and all that is completed, you're going to need to submit your official documents. So tip here is do not send any official documents until after you have submitted the Cal State Apply. Go ahead and submit it after you have received a confirmation from Cal State Apply and a confirmation from CSU Long Beach. And we want that specifically because then we're going to have your application on record and then we can match that to your official documents. For our domestic students, you are able to send them and submit them electronically if your previous university allows it. So this is the email you will go ahead and submit it to. You could also send it via mail, and that is going to Enrollment Services Admissions, and this is their address here on the screen. Go ahead and use UPS, FedEx, anything that does give you a tracking number so you know when it was delivered. For our international students, it is going to be a bit different. International students do not submit documents via email or electronically. Everything has to be a physical hard copy sent to Center of International Education. I do have an email here on the screen for you. If you have any questions about your admissions or your documents, you could always send them an email with all your questions. But all official documents are sent to them to the address below. And again, it is sent to the Center of International Education. It is not enrollment services as our domestic students. And again, highly suggest using some sort of service that give you a tracking number so you know when it was delivered. Okay, so we do have some common questions that we hear often from all of our students. So here are some. If the program is STEM designated, yes, it is. Do I need to have any work experience in IS, IT to apply? The question is no, but it's highly recommended or desirable. Do I need to know how to code before I join? Again, not necessarily, but it is desirable, so it just assists our students better so that they could succeed in the program. What is the student experience like? If you want to know a little bit about that, we do have a student panel. You can go ahead and read and skim through it as well. And what is the cost of tuition? So the MSIS program is a flat rate fee program. What this means is that tuition is the same for everyone, regardless if you're domestic or international. It is about a little bit over $1,000 per unit, and the overall cost of the program is a little bit over $31K. This does already include your books and materials needed for class and parking as well. Okay, so some of our students, where did they go once they graduated and were part of a program? Again, a lot of them did go into being an analyst. So we do have some that went to pricing data analyst, senior strategy analyst, or they went to another company and just did cloud technology consultant. And we do have someone at just a business analyst overall. And again, I'll be sharing the link to this so you could go ahead and read the stories and their perception of the program and how they experience the program. And we do have one of our current students with us here on the call. His name is Musharraf. If you would like to meet with one of our current MSIS students, know a little bit about the experience, class, events, networking, we do have bookings for them. So you can go ahead and just save a slot, join the day and time that best fits you, and chat with them a little bit about the program. Again, they are not meant to give you any advice of your international students about how to pay for things or about visas or anything like that. This is just meant to chat about the student experience. Okay, so after our presentation, if you have any more questions, feel free to email us or give us a call. And again, the link to our website, if you want to know more about the program or the curriculum, feel free to contact us. Okay, I believe that is the end of our presentation. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording and we can open it up for questions.